See, now tonight's a weird night. We're back on the air. Across the Tabletop is back. Adapticon has come and gone. And it's another reason why I should probably start taping the green room, because we're in the green room geeking out to a video game about ready to talk about card gaming and tabletop wargaming. But that's the fun of this fucking channel. It really, truly is. Welcome back, everybody. You know where you're at. You know where you're supposed to be. If not, figure it out. We got my boy Jersey Joe back on the channel, and we've got weird stuff to talk about. I'll admit, in my house right now, Marvel Crisis Protocol is running crazy. Atomic Mass Games, tabletop miniature game for the Marvel Universe. Finding new ways to come up with speed paint, contrast paint, and doing things in one coat options, which I know for you, Joe, that's a little strange. But it's like, I have no problem putting in a lot of work. Like, I'm currently working on the big version of the Hulkbuster.
Okay.
And it's going to be a lot of reds and golds and silvers and blues. But when you get someone like Black Widow and she's 90% done with a one coat option, it makes your day so much better, you know?
Yeah.
But dude, how have you been?
We have been, in my world, the Outsiders dropped for Flesh and Blood. So we were, a lot of us over here have been very time consumed with that one. Me and my buddy, we went in, we bought a case each, which is four separate boxes of boosters. So this is the main set, though, a core set. So instead of it being 36 packs of cards, it's 24, because each pack holds 15 cards.
What's your normal? What's your normal on a pack?
Normal is like, I think it's 10 or something like that, 10 or 11 for an expansion pack.
Balances out a little.
It's like, so like the expansion packs, when you get them, there's not as many core items in them. There's not as many hero cards, weapon cards, things like that. It's more just whatever they've expanded on. Core sets, the reason they put more in them is because there's cards in there that you're going to need from out. They're telling you you're going to need these cards moving forward if you want to be good. That's it. This is how it works. And Outsiders was a core expansion, and it has been talked about like crazy. It has been built up like crazy, and it really delivered, man. A lot of the art on the cards were fantastic. A lot of the keywords and stuff that they came up with are really cool. So I spend most of my time just kind of breaking everything down, getting a feel for everything, and figuring out where I want to go with the new cards I now have.
Yeah.
And I also sent Flesh and Blood a big fuck you on Instagram, because they made weapons and heroes majestic cards and shit. Fuck you, okay? Because now I need those cards and I didn't get them. So now I got to go friggin' buy the things. They're hero and weapon cards.
Yeah, the hook.
Yep, exactly. Bastards.
See, and that's the weird part. In my world at Adapticon, the long-rumored new version of Warhammer 40K was announced. I like where they're going with it. As they put it, we're making the rules simpler. Not simplified, but simpler. I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Because you see new units rolling out, you see different things, and you're like, this is going to be badass. But everyone is losing their mind because, like, the codex that I showed you, the big book that tells you everything you can get for your force, that's gone. They're bringing out data sheets that you can purchase or you can download for free. While I admit the horror of you just go out and spend $25 for a book because you want a specific faction and having that possibly taken away, I've been trying to tell a lot of people, just chill. Games Workshop's not going to make everybody vanilla. You know, they're not going to give you one option after 40 plus fucking years of their history, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough world, man. We all know it. Like, the more you want to get into something, the more money you're going to spend. I'm sorry. It's a fact of life. And at this point, what I try to do is, if I know an expansion's coming out, I plan months ahead. Like, I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to need this much money, and I know I'm going to need to set aside a certain amount for whatever cards I don't get that I still need, and then make it the hard decision of, do I buy another box and hope that I get these cards, or do I go on like TCG Player and just buy them one by one? And I wind up paying as much as I would have for a box, basically. Like it's a tough game, and I'm sure it's like that in your world too. Do you buy a set? Do you get what you got to get? What do you do? Money. At the end of the day, it's all about money. Like I love when people get mad and they're like, "Oh, Magic did something, and it was just a cash grab." Why are you getting mad at them for that? It's a business, though. Like I know it's your hobby and all, but for the creators of the cards, it's still a fucking business. They have to, so of course they did a Harry Potter run. Why wouldn't they? Because Magic nerds bought it, Harry Potter nerds bought it.
Yep.
People who don't even like Magic at all, but were into Harry Potter, went and bought the sets because they just wanted to have the Harry Potter set. You know, like there's nothing wrong with it, man. It's how they make money. You know, you can't always just play to your hardcore fans. You have to play to everybody so you can make money. It's how it works.
See, and that's the funny part for me with like Marvel Crisis Protocol. You only need 10 figures. Okay, you only need 10. But they have so many that are out there, and I'm like, who are you freaks who only want 10? You know, if there's an X-Men expansion, I want to go get those guys, which is funny because Beast, Cyclops, Storm, and I can't remember the fourth arrived in a box set the other day. So I'm like, okay, now I got some X-Men, you know?
Yeah, listen, man, if you're going to try, again, we've talked about it before, it all depends on what you want to do. If you're just doing it for fun, then take your time, get what you want to get when you want to get it. If you want to be competitive, I'm sorry. Like I had a guy message me the other day and he goes, "Hey, I was thinking about going to a tournament in my area, blah, blah, blah. Will you take a look at my deck list?" Sure, why not? Send it over. He was missing 10 to 12 cards that for his deck are mandatory. Like they have to be in that deck if you want to be competitive. And I know this. So I said to him, I'm like, "Hey, do you have these cards by any chance? Because if you do, you might want to sub it in and it'll make the deck run a lot better." "Oh, I don't have those." You probably shouldn't go to that tournament. Like, if you're just going for the experience, have fun. But if you're going because you want to win, you're going to get your dreams crushed in a hurry because he was missing the card that made the deck fluid.
But see, and that also comes with experience. Like, one of the things I love that Games Workshop is doing is they have these box sets that are called Combat Patrols. They're going, if you want to get into the game the cheapest way, go buy it. It's $100 one-time drop. Okay. Before that was just something I could add to my force. Now you can play a complete game with that. And I like that, but you're going to need more. You're going to want more. You know, it's like I told you the other day, I dropped $200 on a box set that had 10, maybe 18 figures in it that's still sitting in a closet downstairs because I can't get to it yet. Because I'm so deep on the paint table going, gotta get this done, you know?
Yeah. And again, it's a rough thing, man, because you don't want to be left behind. Like, FOMO is a very real thing in the gaming world. It's rough.
Massive.
Like and especially if you go to like these conventions and these tournaments and you sit down and somebody plays the friggin' card that costs $150 and they kick your ass with it and you're like, son of a bitch, if I had that card in my deck, things would have been different, but I don't. Oh, look, the guy over there is selling it for $140. That's a deal. Let me go talk to that guy real quick. And that's how these things happen.
Yeah, but for you guys, and that's why I'm jealous of you guys, and I always have been of card gamers. For me, I can go out and let's just say I spend $5,000 on an army. Weird random number, okay? I'm talking about with the paints, the paintbrushes, everything I got to do to put them all together. Then I go to the table, and my dice basically do with this number on me that whole game. There's nothing I can do. Dice tell stories, and my dice fuck me that day, you know?
Yeah, but it's the same thing with us in the draw. I say that all the time. You can have the greatest deck ever assembled, but sometimes the luck of the draw does you in because if you don't pull those cards that you need in a hurry, and the other guy is on a friggin' tear and he's getting every card he needs in his hand and he's boom, 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 and he's just swinging away while you're doing nothing because you haven't gotten what you need yet, there's not much you can do. I don't care how good of a deck you have, man. If you find yourself in a game where you've got 2 life points left and your opponent's got 38, I don't care how good the bottom of your deck is. How you get in there with only 2 hit points left? How you get in there? Show me.
You ever do one of those when you're going to a tournament, go and lift your sleeves up? I want to see if you're holding something under there, you know?
It's, there's times where I see guys do things and I'm like, how? Like, wait, hold on. I'm watching them again, and there's times where I swear to God, things don't make sense to me. They really don't. I'm watching them do things, and I'm going, you shouldn't be able to do that, though. Like, he paid for that, he paid for this, he should be out of pitch. How's he doing that? And they're like, no, he's got 1 left. I'm like, I don't know. I can count pretty well. Pretty sure I can at least. Maybe I'm wrong.
Does it ever give you that weird feeling when you're shuffling your deck? I see. When I did stuff a while ago, you couldn't put your cards in protective sleeves. You had to have your cards there. And when you're shuffling them, in that back of my mind, I'm going, okay, little tear, little micro tear, little this. Is this the point where the card rips? And, if you have a foil card, you're like,
Right. No, well, now we can have them in the protective things, thank God. What you can't do is double up at tournaments. That's what they don't let you do. So, like, there's cards that are worth a lot of money, and people want to put the penny sleeves on them, the ones that are ultra tight, and that way you can put the other one over the top. You can't do that at tournaments because they say that little bit of thickness lets you know where your money card is while you're shuffling. And you could position it in a certain place if you need to or whatever it might be. I get it. I really do. I mean, I understand their point. At the same time, though, bitch, you didn't spend $300 on this set of cards, goddammit. I did. So,
yeah, but it's that extra. And that was one of the things I clearly remember way back when I told you I was doing that Harry Potter stuff. People were like, well, I paid a lot for this card. And their opponent's like, I don't care. You can't put it in the sleeve. Now, screw you. And I'm like, dude, it's a friendly game in a game shop. You're not playing for a lot of money right now. Dude, chill. But I get it. It's that extra,
And nowadays it's changed so much because even if you go to a game shop and because they're hosting a game night or something, nowadays places like Flesh and Blood, and I believe Magic does it too. I know Yu-Gi-Oh does it as well. They've got their online database, and when you go to play the games, you have to give your username and all that stuff for FabTCG, and every game you play is now logged into the database. I don't listen. If I go to a shop and somebody calls me, says, hey, let's play, this isn't a game now. Now, fuck that. We're at war because you're not knocking my score down, goddammit. I've worked hard. So you better have like hellfire and brimstone if you want to stop me, because I might just kick you in the shin if you're doing too good. Like, I'm not above it.
Right, Chris. Good to see you here. And stay tuned, Chris. You might win something. You might. Because we got something we got to cover here in a moment. By the way, fuck your birds. Fuck them. Damn better record than my Red Sox this year, but everyone's going to have a better record than my Sox. So we have no pitching, no hitting, no anything. All right. So now that Chris has popped in, I can kind of talk about it a little bit. We do have a brand new unofficial sponsor for the channel this month. It is the incredible company Copper Johns. They are a great grooming company that has you covered from head to toe. And they have been gracious enough to do a giveaway. But seeing how I've only got maybe 1 or 2 people in here, let me roll the little footage and we're going to do a giveaway. So hold on. Oh, come on, you stupid piece of... Hey, all you viewers to play later, how we doing today? I know, new month, we have a new unofficial sponsor of the channel. Copper Johns is joining the family for the month. I will be integrating this video in some upcoming ones. Guys, seriously, you've gone to cons, Adapticon just finished up. You know that maybe you want to have that slantish fun, but man, you got Nurgle's rot. Dude, Copper Johns got you hooked up. They got beard oil, they got beard butter, they've got beard wash, they've got bar soaps. They've got everything you need to take care of your body. They've got supplements and other great things. Look down below in the description box. You're going to see a link right to their right to their web store. Check them out.
Let them know I sent you. You will not be disappointed by anything you buy from them.
So there is their new little integration vid that I'm going to be working into every video that I release starting next week. I wanted to do the live first before I even announced it and get it rolling. But like I said, we're going to do a giveaway. I see there's like 3 people watching in here. So I'll be honest with you. The first one to type first, you win. So type first if you guys want a gift card to Copper John's.
If you ever thought about maybe going to a male grooming company, if you're going to a convention, I advise, I plead that you go to a grooming company, get stuff that smells good and use it, because you smelly motherfuckers show up to these things and you're like, oh yeah, you know, we're all natural and we don't use deodorant. That's bad when you're in a room full of 500 people trying to play card games. You people stink. Use something.
It adds up quick. Chris, email me, bro. I'll get in touch with Copper John's. Make sure you get your gift card, all right? Thank you, brother, for setting history on the channel. You're the winner of the very first giveaway. And it's kind of fitting it's you because you've been with me since like the first 100 over on my other channel. That is cool. That is awesome of Copper John's. I mean, Tyson is an amazing dude. You're going to love everything. And Chris, if you're curious about some of his stuff, I've got reviews on a lot of things over on my channel. And my boy over here, Jersey Joe, has some reviews on stuff from Copper John's. So check him out, dude. And yes, conventions. Oh, my God. That is the one thing I hear from everybody. And I know we've covered it before, but I'm going to say it again. Go watch gamer channels who talk about conventions. One of the biggest things they say you should bring is deodorant.
It's bad. Listen, man, first of all, what people don't realize is, I don't care how strong your deodorant is, right? When you go to one of these things, you've got a couple thousand people under one roof. That's a lot of body heat being generated, man. A lot. So you're sweating from the moment you get there, especially if you're somebody like me. You're sweating from the moment you arrive in the building, okay? My deodorant is in my book bag so that I can go into the bathroom at some point throughout the day and reapply real quick because I know I'm sweating like crazy and I'm going to need it. But there's some, listen, I'm a big guy, so I can say this, all right? So don't none of y'all try and cancel me out there. Not that I give 2 flying fucks. The bigger we are, the worse we smell, boys and girls. I hate to be the one to break that to you, but it's a reality, okay? The bigger we are, the worse we smell. So therefore, we have an obligation to the people around us to not fucking stink, which is why deodorant, I always use a nice, very nice beard oil in the beard on the days of the tournament. That way that smells good, you know? Also, by the way, just to any beard company that might ever watch this, well, actually, if you're kind of like Fable or like Black Rebel, where they do a lot of the pop culture things and stuff like that, you could make a fucking fortune at these conventions. Oh, could you imagine a tent of Colin shit at a convention with all those nerds everywhere?
The Archer, the Marks, just everything he's got.
Exactly. It's literally made for that world, which I don't know. Maybe he does go to them in his area. I have no idea, right? But I'm just saying, he could make an app just because, especially like in my world, it's funny. And I've told you this before, actually, I think.
Yes.
I
know where you're going. Yeah.
Have his beard oils sitting with their cards because, like you said, he has the Archer. Flesh and Blood has a whole Ranger lineup of archers. He has the hero. He has this. He has that. And it all looks like certain characters from the game. Now, he was around way before Flesh and Blood was. So I know it wasn't a copy thing. It's just one of those things where I believe he was influenced by the same things the Flesh and Blood creators were, which was RPG gaming in that world. I believe they were both influenced by the same thing and the storytelling of all that. And because of that, both worlds look very similar. And while I'm sure Fable's not hurting for money, I'm just saying there's a lot of money that could be made at those conventions, man. A lot.
Especially when you think about some of these bigger conventions. And this is the other reason. I know we got a little off track, but I don't care. I think it's an important topic. Like the biggest Warhammer Games Workshop convention in the States is in Las Vegas. So you're already sweating in the heat when you go in there. Now you add the excitement of being there. Your adrenaline level is going up. You start playing a game and you start getting your ass kicked. Adrenaline level is going up, and you're not even realizing how bad you smell.
When you see that 400-pound dude lift his arms up and the pit stains are deep and dark and the smell just wafts right out, and you're like, dude, why? like why, man?
It is a very, very common gamer problem, which is why everybody who goes to a convention is always, that's their first thing they pack is go pack your deodorant, pack your smell good shit, pack everything. You're going to be there a while. Do everybody else a favor, you know?
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Hold on.
Maybe his phone was calling somebody else again. You never know with Joe. That's always part of the fun. But yeah, so it's
Thanks. There we go.
You good? Okay.
Yeah. You know my Wi-Fi sometimes because everybody's home and they're on shit. So here's a little pro tip, if you will. If
he's an AMBO driver in Baltimore, so summer's in Baltimore, or oh look, I just dried off out of the shower. Now the humidity, you're wet again.
It's like that in Jersey. The humidity's stupid out here. But pro tip. So I always bring a high-quality beard oil with me to these things, too. Actually, I should correct that, high-potency beard oil, something that smells very strong, like very, very strong. One of my favorites, which I'm almost done with again, is the Bronco Buster. And what I'll do is, real simple, just take out the little wand, okay, and literally just pass it right beneath your nose, rub a little bit right there. And it's all you'll smell, basically, is your favorite smell at that point. And trust me, it helps because, man, whew, some of y'all boys out there are ripe.
Now, just as an offshoot, when you guys go to your let me rephrase this before we get into this one. Like Adapticon just passed, and it is like the biggest miniature con there is, period. What does collectible card gamers have?
What kind of conventions?
Yeah, do you have like a convention that's known worldwide that people fly into and dealers fly into and set up big booths and go, come buy shit?
As the world expands, it's getting bigger. You've got the ProQuest. You got Fireball Gaming, who hosts their own events. The funny thing is about our world is that from what I've seen as I've gotten into it more and more, unlike other worlds where you've got like Adapticon and this and that, and it seems like most of the card gaming world is run by YouTube channels and shit like that. Like it seems like a lot of these conventions and things like that, especially in the Flesh and Blood world, because it's so young still, a lot of it is controlled by these channels that have gotten bigger, and they're the ones holding these events. Because remember, all you really need to host an event is an okay from Flesh and Blood. That's it. You just need them to say, yeah, you can host an event, have fun. And you can literally hold one in your own goddamn living room if you want to at that point. Invite 20 people over and play game. Have everybody log into their account when they get there. They then play. If they lose, they hit I lost. If they win, they hit I won. And that's it. So because of that, you're seeing more and more that the bigger conventions, like it used to be part of Comic-Con, it used to be part of this, it used to be part of that, but it was such a small part of it that you would get lost in it. And now it seems like the card gamers are starting to kind of say, fuck that. We'll just start our own thing. And like the one thing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the one thing you learn quick is that, and kudos, if you will, to the, what's the word I'm looking for? To the merchandisers and the sellers at these things, because they know one fact. If you're there and you're looking at their merchandise, you're there to spend. That's it.
Yeah.
Because the people who aren't looking to buy anything don't even go near the tables. They don't even go anywhere near it.
But I mean, like in all due fairness, getting lost in Comic-Con is very simple. I know some guys who sold WWE merchandise who have been buried in the back area that no one wants to venture way back there.
Comic-Con is so big that they had the Walking Dead premiere the one year in Madison Square Garden as part of its show. Yeah. And it wasn't even the main feature that night. there was other shit going on still. Comic-Con's massive, and because of that, there's so many things. And don't get me wrong, the card gaming shit still happens there too, but it's not something that they really like push. Like, hey, everybody go to Comic-Con. Go to play the game. There's tournaments everywhere now, man. The only thing I really wish would happen a lot faster than what it is. And don't get me wrong, if you look comparatively to like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those card games that really had to go through the trench wars of years of trying to get past, card games are for nerds, and getting to the point where it is now, where it's kind of universally accepted. Flesh and Blood has grown at an exponential pace, man. It really has. The fact that it's got its own world championships and everything already, even though it launched literally right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Damn.
Like, Flesh and Blood launched right as the pandemic started, and because of that, just as it was starting to kind of gain heat, a lot of gaming stores backed off, because the entire point of the game, the reason they call it Flesh and Blood,
Okay, there we go.
is because they want you to play the game in person. They want everything done in person, if you will. So because of that, a lot of gaming stores backed off, because they were like, nobody's even seen the game, and now we're in a lockdown. I'm not going to order these cards that nobody's ever heard of before.
Well, see, that would kill most companies. If you're a brand new company, you're just walking out the door, then everybody, don't leave your house.
It really would. But again, I don't know how else to put this other than this. Were you a Final Fantasy fan growing up?
7, yes. That's the only one I ever played growing up.
Okay, but you were an RPG gamer.
Yes.
Okay. So imagine if somebody took all the RPGs from your childhood, all the things you loved about it, customizing their gear, getting them new weapons, upgrading their attacks, everything, and put it in a card game.
Yeah, you're gonna want it, and you're gonna nerd out, and you're gonna triple mask or put on the IBM spaceman suit, walking into your favorite store and go, "Give me."
Exactly. They really. I have to firmly believe that the creators of this were huge and utter RPG friggin' nerds, and also they love their card games, but every one of the card games was so, I don't want to say repetitive, but they were, okay?
Well, it kind of gets that way, because if you look at it, a lot of tabletop games are kind of the same. You've got dice, you've got figures, you've got scenery. It's just about the storyline and your attack and defense stats,
And that's like Magic, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, even Pokemon, although I never really played Pokemon, the card game, but if you can, collect Pokemon, because they're worth a shit ton of money. But all three of them were kind of the same. You get your resources out, right? Your land, your whatever you need. Then you get your monsters out, and you strategically plan movements for attacks. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh is a little different, because you put this out, you put that out, then you take them away to put something bigger out. But it was always the same. Flesh and Blood was different, because it was, this is your hero. This is their hero. That's it. That's what you got. Yeah. Now it's who can knock the other one down the quickest using the best attacks you have available. So I just think it was a very smart move.
Yeah, because they were able to pivot and do something and bring something different to the card gaming community, which is why, like I said at the beginning of the show, seriously, go look Warhammer 40K 10th edition. You're going to see a whole bunch of people going, woe is me. Oh my God, what the fuck did they do? What's going on? I'm like, this company's been around 40 years. They are not going to trash their multi-million-dollar company with bringing out a brand new edition. Give it a break, give it time, let it run its course, Yeah,
I had somebody, we went to the card shop the other day, and we had just spent a fortune on Outsiders and everything else, so I wasn't really looking to get too much stuff, but I needed some sleeves for my card boxes and things like that. So while we were there, somebody approached me and was like, hey, you have a minute? I'd like to show you something. And I said, sure. They were doing a big special. I guess the owner of this shop, because it's a different one that we go to just because they have a lot of different items, if you will. I guess he had over ordered something, and it was Warhammer things, because apparently in his area Warhammer is not that big. His shop is mostly D&D. That's mostly what his shop is.
Okay.
Even the characters you see are all D&D characters, right?
Right.
He was like, listen, if you really want to, if you want to give it a shot, now's a great time, because we can sell you a starter box, I guess it was called, or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
An expansion thing, a book, this, that, the third. We can do the whole deal for $150. And he was like, trust me, it's a really good deal.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sure it is. I said, I really am. I'm sure it's a great deal. I said, by any chance, the owner knows me. Would you be willing to hold on to that for me so I could think about it? The owner said, sure. I explained to him, I said, my biggest concern is this. I said, number one, the money obviously is a concern. And number two, I know myself. I'm very much a perfectionist. I want things to look the part.
It's going to become so addicting. It really is.
My hands are always shaking, always. Trying to paint these little tiny figures and make them look the part is going to be hard. And it's going to drive me nuts. And I'm going to wind up breaking things, because that's what I do when I get angry. Okay, my temper is famous amongst the world. This is what I do. I get mad. I break stuff. I hit things. I throw stuff at people. Just the way I react. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I really do. I love the Warhammer world. I love the whole aspect of it. I never hear of too many tournaments in my area or nothing like that, but to me, it just looks like something that would be cool to collect and have and kind of get into. But man, it's something I got to really give some thought to.
I will tell you from personal thing, I'm really glad that I got the bug to pick up Star Wars Armada, because it got me back into Warhammer 40K. And it's, for me, and this is just me, there's nothing really more satisfying than taking that hunk of gray plastic, clipping the pieces out, gluing them together, priming them up, and creating your vision on it.
Absolutely.
I freely admit, hand to God, when I first started painting, I was like a drunken 3-year-old on acid with watercolors going.
Right.
And
well,
now,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, now, like we've talked about, if I'm not coming out of there dead tired when I get off the paint session, I know I failed. Because I want to challenge myself.
Well, as proud as you feel when you finish it and all that's the way we feel when you can pull out this. And I mean, the box it comes in looks good, right? Yeah. But the deck inside is what matters. And when we can have our box that looks like that at a tournament and then pull out our deck and actually win some games, it's that feeling of accomplishment. It's that feeling of pride. Like, hey, man, I did something that fucking works.
We got one for you. And hey, Spaceman, welcome to the show. His brother has a similar problem with his hands. Some of the advice he got from MS Paints really helped him out. Might be worth you checking it out.
From MS Paint? Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all for it. I have a condition called neurofibromatosis. I have tumors that go on nerve endings throughout my body, and there's actually a few on my arm that, I mean, I'm not going to go on, but it causes my hands to kind of just wig out from time to time. Never really works. It never really bothers me when I want to do this. It works fine all the time.
Gee, it's the Italian heritage taking over right there.
I will actually, what was it called? MS Paint?
Yeah, MS Paints.
I will absolutely check it out, and I appreciate the feedback, man. Really. Thank you very much.
See, that's one of the things I love about the gaming community, okay? Look, I know we have dickheads. All right, they're going to be everywhere no matter what. But you have people who are always willing to step up like he just did and went, bro, I got you. And give you a channel that could get you advice. Dude, Spaceman, thank you. Seriously. You're just reaffirming why I love doing this show and this wargaming channel. I know I'm small. I know I'm growing. But still.
No, I greatly appreciate it. And it's part of why I love and listen, like you said, there's always going to be dickheads, right? But like, the last tournament I went to, there was a girl there, and you could tell as soon as she opened her mouth, if this girl was 18, she was old, okay? She was a young kid. who was into the gaming world, and from what I gathered from what she when she played me, what she was telling me, she got picked on a lot in school for being a little different and just So she sits down to play the first game, and she's actually playing my best friend in her first game. And the first thing, I'm not even joking, you can't print these things out sometimes the way it happens. Like sometimes shit just happens how it's going to happen, right?
Right.
She goes to play the first card, her first setup, boom, boom, and then she slams down a card with all this confidence and happiness. And she's like, and here's Blizzard, and I am stopping you from all go agains and this and that. And my buddy just looks at her and he's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm sure. What do you mean?" He goes, "But how about you pick that card up and put it in your deck box?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "How about you let the attack happen, don't take away my go again, and put that card back in your box?" And she's like, "Why would I do that?" He goes, "Because if I confirm that you're doing that move right now, then you're going to be suspended from the tournament because that's an illegal card. It got banned." She didn't know, right? And he could have just raised his hand right in that moment and been like, "Hey, she's cheating." But he knew she was a kid, right? And now me and the guy that were playing sitting next to them turned to her, both of us were like, "Hey, he's right. The card is banned, but he's right. Just put it in your box. You probably have, what, two of them in your deck? Put it in your box, right? He's giving you the option to go through your deck real quick, find the other one, put it in your box, shuffle your deck, and keep playing." And she's like, "Really? Listen, we're here to have a good time. And you're here to learn. You don't learn shit if hey, she cheated, get her the fuck out of here." She didn't even know. She wasn't trying to cheat. She didn't know. So it was a better thing to do to teach her, like, "Hey, card is banned." And then my buddy even took his phone out and went, "Look, the Flesh and Blood site can be a little bit weird, but here's another site that does the Living Legend tracker and the ban tracker and all that. It's literally up to date. They do an update every day, so you know exactly what cards and all that have been banned." He sent her the link, everything. So that's the part of the gaming world I love. And you're right, there's always going to be an asshole. Trust me, we've seen some big ones in this world. But,
Yeah, see, we have that kind of similar in like tabletop wargaming. Whereas if your opponent's having a good game with you and it's a good sportsman back and forth, and he forgets to do a move and he asks, I've always been like, "Dude, go ahead. I'm just here to have fun." Now, if he's a fucking dick, I'm like, "Sorry, you blew it. Not my fault. Let's roll."
so, I mean, I don't know what you know about my world at all. I don't think you know much at all, right?
No, seriously, the last shit I did was that first run of Harry Potter cards. I can't remember who made them when that first movie came out. That's how long ago it's been since I've touched a card game.
So I'll show you a card right now that literally almost every deck in the world uses in their equipment. It's called Feindal's Spring Tunic.
Okay.
It is a chess piece of equipment, and what it is every turn you can put a counter on her. And then every 3 turns, you can pitch those counters. Once you've got 3 of them added up, you can get rid of it, and it equates into 1 resource point, basically.
Okay.
So it's a free resource point, like basically. You don't have to do anything. You just got to make sure you put your counter on it every time if you don't have 3 there. So some people with this card are so strict about it because the wording on the card says, at the beginning of your turn, you may put a counter on it, right?
Right.
Some people are so strict with it that if you don't do it first and you go to do it like before your turn is over, you go, "Oh, let me put my counter on Fang too." They'll go, No, you can't do that. No. It says at the beginning of your turn, judge. It says the beginning of his turn. What difference does it really make? None. Other than you just want to be a prick right now. That's all it is.
Yeah. They're like I think I told you, I was doing a War Machine tournament, which is really weird because the guys from Privateer Press are from Seattle. They're literally right down the road from me. They had a great gaming system for tabletop wargaming, but they got too big for their heads and fucked it up. But now they're coming back, and weirdly, they're part of Marvel Crisis Protocol. They help write the rules. I was playing in a tournament, and I get if you can see any part of the miniature, you can shoot it. I get that. They're big fucking hunking war machines, all right?
Right.
But when you're bringing out a laser pointer to talk about a 1/16th, 1/32nd, 1/48th, whatever, that really small little dot, I'm like, give me a break. The whole thing is covered but one itty bitty little laser pointer dot. And he's arguing with the judge. Finally, I just went, fuck it, go ahead, shoot it.
That's because, again, to some of these guys, and listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make it seem like I have an issue with it, because I get it. Like when I went to the tournament recently, there are guys who come in from across the pond. You know what I mean? There are people coming in from Australia because this is their life. This is what they do. They have given up everything else, and they are pursuing their dreams of being a full-time card player. They go to Magic tournaments. They go to Flesh and Blood tournaments. They go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, they play everything. That's the other thing, too. If you're ever thinking about going full-time, you can't play one game. I'm sorry. You really can't. You're going to have to do more than one, because you're going to have to supplement the income. If one's not having a tournament, you can go to the other one and try and win some money. So I understand why some people really take this seriously. I get it. But there's taking it seriously and it being a dick. Like I said, with the Feindals thing, that counter going on at the end of his turn makes no difference to you, because even if he doesn't put that third counter on at the end of that turn, as soon as his next turn starts, he puts it on, he can take it off right away and get his resource point stuff. It literally changes nothing.
Now,
nothing. You just had to be a dick about it.
With you guys in your cards, because I know for tabletop miniatures, sportsmanship is a huge thing. And there are people who are banned from events because they're very poor sports. Do you guys track your sportsmanship scores anywhere? Is there even a sportsmanship score for card gaming?
I've never seen one. I do know that there is kind of a code of conduct, if you will, with us. Number one thing to me, if win or lose, right? If I've got the cards in my hand and I know he's got me, I take my card, put him face down. Thank you very much, sir. It was a great game. It's all yours. You got it.
Respectful.
I always see, for the most part, everybody's very respectful. Younger people, sometimes the younger kids can get a little iffy about it, and I get it. You're young, everything's about winning, came here to win, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Where you'll see more of the bigger blow-ups or the people being dicks is at the bigger game, like the tournament that everybody's here for, that situation, because let's be honest here, money is the root of all evil, and whenever there's a chance to win money,
it brings out the worst.
It's going to bring out the worst in everyone. And if they think they lost, not because they did something wrong, but because you cheated in some way or you took advantage of the rules somehow, they're going to lose their shit and jump all over it. And again, things you learn by going to more and more of these things, if you're ever in a situation where a guy's yelling at you and calling you out saying you cheated, just raise your hand. Raise your hand and get a judge over and tell the judge, hey, this is exactly how it went. I did this, did that. Did I do something wrong? If the judge says no, you can politely look at the guy across the table from you and say, okay, so now you still lost.
Sorry.
Have a great day. If the judge says you did do something wrong, it's also a moment for you to look like the bigger person and go, really? I wasn't aware of that. My apologies to you, sir. Perhaps next time you can try and just talk to somebody instead of screaming, yelling, and acting like a lunatic. I hope you have a great tournament, have a lot of fun, and please go fuck yourself and get up and leave the table. It's that easy,
See,
you can leave to go fuck yourself out if you want.
I actually got revenge on that guy with the laser pointer. A tournament 3 times down afterwards, I got paired up with him. I looked at him and went, you've already won. And the judge looked at me. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, I've played him before. Poor sport. He wins. I just walked because we're here to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that a lot of us get away from, because I get it. With you, you're spending hard-earned money just like I am, and you're putting together your deck. I spend, like, one of those photos I sent you was about 9 hours just on one miniature, and that's
Right.
a rank and file guy.
Right.
I spend all this time to paint them up. I want to have fun, and if you're not having fun, is it really worth your time?
At the end of the day, I believe it is not. But that's again my opinion. That's my opinion. Like, I don't care if you are winning. If you're not having fun, it's become a job.
Yeah.
Like, and you talk about spending money. You know what a play set is, right?
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3 of the same card, right? So that you can have a set of it in your deck. This is Command and Conquer. If you ever get into the Flesh and Blood world, I'm sorry if you don't have this, because every deck in the world literally runs this card. This card right now sells, I think it's $98 for the lower edition one. And for the first edition one, I believe it's $145 for one card. One.
I've literally spent, oh, great. I see. And anyone who's watched my channel for a while, you know we're getting into summer, because that's the light coming right through the blinds. The dots right there. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry. But I have literally spent $300 on one character figure.
Yeah, listen.
One fucking figure.
Listen, I got lucky. The first 2 Command and Conquers that are there, I actually pulled. I got from a history box. Which, by the way, if you get into the game, I highly recommend buying some of the history boxes. I don't care what anybody says about them being white borders. Tell them to kiss the white border of your asshole, okay? Doesn't matter. If you get the cards you need, that's all that matters at the end of the day, okay? And the history pack is a great way to get a lot of the cards that you're going to need in the game. I got lucky. I pulled 2 of them. The third one, when I went to the tournament, you know, for every game you win a certain amount of points, this and that, and you can go cash it in. I won a $50 gift card to Star City Games, which was there. I then went to Star City Games, gave them the gift card, and gave them a card that I was looking to sell. And I said, how much will you give me for this card? He said, 45. He had the other card that I needed to complete the set for 110. I had 95. I said, what do you say we just call it even? To my surprise, he actually said yes. So, you know.
Nice. Now, as we're getting to that point, I want to ask you one little offbeat question.
Sure.
When you go to a convention, I know you probably pack a bag with you, right?
Absolutely.
What's one weird item you pack in every bag that you go? And I will say for me, I always pack snacks. And I'm not talking about Doritos or Cheetos because I have miniatures and I don't want that fucking dust on my miniatures. But just weird shit like power bars or granola bars. I'm always packing some.
Oh, shit. What would be the weirdest thing?
I swear to God, if you say gabagool, I'm going to kill you.
No, it's probably my grandmother's key ring, her boxing gloves key ring that I take with me to the tournaments. I don't know why. I did it the first time I went, and I won, so it just became a thing.
Creature of habit. I get it.
Yeah. My grandmother unfortunately had to fight cancer 6 times in her life. On the 7th time, it finally got her. And we actually all took to calling her Cancer's Rocky at one point because no matter how hard it swung, it couldn't take her out for so long. Literally. So we had the boxing gloves done on one of those reflector keychains. It had Rocky written on it and all that. And I don't know. I took them once just, I don't even know why I did it. And now it's become a thing. If I'm going, go get them real quick. Put them back when I'm done.
I get it. I mean, seriously, I get it. Because I've seen people bring weird things to the gaming table. Like when
mouthwash.
Yes. There's nothing worse than you sit down and you're like, oh, God, dude.
Mouthwash. Yep. Listen, you've been to these things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what are the food options? What? Nachos, hot dogs, pizza from Costco?
Depending where you're at. because I've gone to some big buildings like Vegas. So you have limited restaurant things, but you've got a short amount of time in between to get it done. And when you have 800 people,
I'm talking about the Sea Caucus Rec Center here, okay?
Where hot dogs, yeah.
Nachos, hot dogs, the pizzas they buy from Costco's real quick and heat up in the oven, a pretzel maybe, right? All those foods don't leave a pleasant smell on your breath. And again, when you're in a place packed with a bunch of fucking smells, you could at least make it a pleasant one.
With poor air circulation. Yes.
When we are done, I will get it through to every one of you that, in my opinion, the nicest thing you could do in the gaming world would be to start taking care of your personal hygiene when you go to these tournaments. That's all.
Dude, even the gaming store, because like I said, that one day I walked in to buy one item and it smelled like boiled ass. I looked at the cuteness factor and went, "Did you crap your pants?"
You ever see Jamie Foxx stand-up special, the comedy special?
Which one? I've seen a bunch of his.
The one where he talked about going to Africa for the first time.
I think so.
So he talked about going to Africa, and he was like, first thing you need to know when you go to Africa is bring an extra set of nostrils, because that first set, boom, gone as soon as you get off the plane. He's like, all the animal smells. He's like, and they don't wear deodorant either. He's like, so all the smells hit your nose all at once. That first set of nostrils, gone. It's like that at most of these tournaments, unfortunately. As soon as you walk in, like the last time we walked in and went body odor and self-deprecation and a little bit of God, I'm a nerd feeling. There you go. We're home.
That's why the sign-in booths are at the front, so the staff can just fresh air, fresh air, fresh air. But okay, guys, we are at that point. I usually try to keep these about an hour or less. I want to thank everyone. No Rona, just fucking hay fever. Who joined us tonight? Like I said, we have a brand new unofficial sponsor. I can't call them official because I'm not going to charge this company. So they were really, really cool to hop on board and help out. Chris Rayner, congrats, brother, for being the first giveaway winner ever in the history of this channel. Don't worry. We're going to have another show in 2 weeks. We're going to have another giveaway in 2 weeks. So tell everyone, show up, make a comment. You never know when I'm going to drop that giveaway. Now, Joe, thank you so much for joining, brother. Any last things you want to throw out there to the geek universe, for lack of a better phrase?
Yeah, do me a favor. Go and get into Flesh and Blood more and more. That way, more stores are carrying it. There's more people out there I can be a nerd with. But more than that, if you're thinking about getting into the world, find what makes you happy and enjoy it. Seriously, just enjoy the hell out of it, because that's all it is for me. It's an escape. I get to go have fun, enjoy myself. My cards don't judge me. They don't call me ugly. Shut up. They don't call me ugly. I said shut up. Enjoy your cards.
And guys, the biggest thing I got for you, I know everyone's excited about Adapticon and all the weirdness that came out. Just chill. Games Workshop knows what they're doing. All right. Like I said, they're not going to fuck up their multi-million-dollar business. If you want some lighthearted humor, you want to check out a really, really good channel, go check him out. Go check out Jersey Joe. He's got a great channel. He doesn't post much content anymore, but rumor has it he may be coming back.
I'm working on it.
Now, on that wonderful stuff, guys, seriously, just be good to each other, okay? It's not that hard. Take an extra minute. Be that nice person. Because remember, the Emperor protects. For all my 40K fans, huh? All right, on that fun shit, guys, we'll see you on the next show.